Guys, I know I have not been on YouTube forever. I've been on YouTube, but I haven't made a video in like forever. Really sorry about that. I've been really sick, so kind of bear with me with that. I just want to make this video about my story, my life. I know I can roll it out to like what's going around now, but it's gonna be a really long life story. I'm just gonna tell you a little small amount about it. Okay, I've been bullied my whole entire life. I've never been really out of that bully scene yet. I still constantly get bullied out in public. I do fight anxiety and depression because of it. So, yeah. And I've constantly thought of suicidal for a long period of time because of how bullied I got and how much it took away my energy. I felt like no one wanted me at all. And so I just wanted to commit suicide. But I'm still here, especially. I got into drugs and partying at the age of 16. I was introduced to it by my ex-boyfriend 6 years ago. No, yeah, five years ago. And he really got me into it, and my life, I thought that was a better life for me, like partying and doing drugs and drinking massively. And it wasn't, you know, at first it was like great. I was spending all my time out in public and having actual friends, but they weren't friends. They were people that I thought was friends, and they weren't. I was introduced by sex. I was introduced by drugs, partying. I was introduced by the whole rock and roll theme life, like drugs, sex, and alcohol, rock and roll, but not rock and roll. It was more of an ICP thing. I was introduced by the juggalos and the juggalettes at 16, and I lost my family. I lost my real friends that actually loved me and actually cared about me. And I didn't really care at that point. I was like, oh, I'm a teenager, you know, I'm living once. I'm gonna live my life. What's my life? And okay. It's gonna say I'm watching cartoons. I'm so sorry. And I decided at one point I gave up and said, I don't need this. I don't need this temptation in my life. Then I broke with my ex-boyfriend at almost 17 years old. I was basically spending my whole 16 with him. And let's just say I was about to turn 17 when I broke up with him. So I finally got my family back and my friends. It took me a year to get them back and their trust back. Within that time of 17, I met my son's father, aka my other ex, when I was my freshman year of high school. We broke up the first time. It only lasted less than a month. And my junior year, I thought, you know, giving him a second chance. He was a tall, awkward ginger. He didn't have the coolest friends. He was basically just like me, an outcast. So I decided to give him a second chance. And I knew physically that and mentally, I actually loved him. I actually adore this guy. I actually wanted to spend my whole entire life with him. He promised me my freshman year that he will be the best boyfriend that I will ever have. And by writing that in this little sticky note that I still have to this day. So I give him a second chance my junior year and his senior year. And within that year, my junior year, about a week within my junior year, beginning my junior year, I found out I was pregnant. At this time, I was 18. Yes, I got into school at 4. I got held back my first grade, 1999. So I should have graduated with the same year as him, but I didn't. I was, I was still figuring out my life. I was still figuring out what the heck my meaning was on this earth. When I found I was pregnant, I was still going to church with him because he was a church goer, and I was getting more and more into the church life again because I was born and raised in the church, and so I was starting to realize what I was purpose to be on this earth for. When I found out I was pregnant, everything changed. Like, for me, it actually changed. I was no longer... There's nothing in there. I was no longer partying, I was no longer drinking, I was no longer doing drugs. The only thing I was doing before I found out I was pregnant was smoking cigarettes. And I was like, I gotta give that up. And I was a very unstable person at this point. I was still wanting to actually fight everybody I've seen. I still had that whole name for myself saying I was a fighter, I was a drug user, I was a drinker, I was a partier. I had that name for myself still. And I did not want that for my son or my daughter. And he kept on promising that he would be there, he'd be supportive, he would be the best boyfriend I will ever have. And he was. He was there for me emotionally, physically, and he was the best boyfriend I've ever had. And I don't take that for granted. I do take back my emotional state because I was hormonic. That's what you get for being a pregnant teenager. And at 18. And soon later, 9 months later, I give birth to a healthy little boy, 7 pounds and 5 ounces. Okay. My son's pointing his nose over here. And he was the light of my life. And I treasured everything to him. He was everything to me. And I guess his son's father, my boyfriend at the time, took that as a granted. Like, I didn't want nothing to do with him. I didn't want to do things with him. I didn't want to be physically with him. But on the other hand, on my side, I want everything to do with him. I still loved him. And within 9 months of our son's life, he decided to actually break up with me. He said he was getting tired. He was getting so stressed out about it. He didn't really give me a reason why he was breaking up with me. He was telling me that he was stressed, he was tired, and he needed a break. And I was like sitting here like, I spent a year and a half with you. I gave birth to your child. I should take that back. I had a C-section to give birth to your child. I got cut open to give birth to your child. And you're telling me you're tired and you're stressed. And within that time, within the 9 months, I gave up my dreams of being a cosmetologist. I gave up basically up my school year. I gave up my school, my cosmetology classes. I gave it up. I was basically failing high school at this point. I was already a senior at this time, and my son being born. So I already went through my whole junior year, and I did great. I actually passed because I was like, yes, I can do things. I have so much energy, so much weird energy, and I'm gonna pass. I did. Yeah. And I decide my senior year, I was like, I'm gonna need a mother. And I gotta finish high school. And I looked at him, I'm like, I give up my schooling, my freedom, my teenage years. You know, everything that I worked so hard for you and our son. And he's like, well, that doesn't matter. It really matters to me. I'm like, really? Really? And he broke up with me, and it's been going on 2 years that I've not seen him or physically been with him. And my son is now officially 2 years old, and I mean, it's so hard. I still have, you know, I've still been on dates. I still had boyfriends within this time, but I still physically still love him. I still treasure him to the point where I love him to the point where I can't see myself with anybody else. Like, as I said, I basically give him my heart and soul. But yeah, that is my life story. Within 2 years. And moral of the story, if you know, I don't think it's really a moral story. The point of the story is basically just saying, don't give up at all. It's, for me, I would rather not give up at all and turn to drugs or alcohol or partying or giving up my high school my dreams.
Mommy!
But
You might do it.
so don't give up.
Yeah,
at all.
I know.
If time gets rough, don't give up. Okay.